And today we're going to talk about parallel and perpendicular lines and how to write them. So remember, we use the form y equals mx plus b. And that's what we're going to do. So parallel means that they don't touch, but that they have the same slope. So we're going to talk about parallel first, and then we'll talk about perpendicular. We will not do all of these examples. Parallel will come quick, and then perpendicular will take a little bit longer, but it's not as bad. So parallel means we use the same slope. So the only thing that we need this equation for is to pull out the slope. So this is your M. Remember yesterday we had the point to be our X and our Y. So we're going to fill it into our equation. Solve for B and then rewrite our equation. So somebody tell me what your Y coordinate is.
4.
4. Somebody else tell me what your M is.
-1/3.
And we pulled that from the other equation. That's all we need from that equation. We're not going to use anything else. We have an X coordinate of 3. And then remember, we need to solve for B. We're going to multiply these two together. -1/3 times 3 is -1. You can do that in your calculator. And then how do I solve for B? How do I get B by itself?
Add -1.
Not -1, but just add 1. No
Add
worries.
1. Sorry, I was just looking at the number.
You're okay. 4 plus 1 is 5. And so we get B equals 5. So the last thing that you want to do is write your equation. Your equation is y equals the same slope, so -1/3 x, and then whatever you get for B, a +5. And that's your answer, -1/3 x plus 5. We're going to do it again on the other one. Sorry, all my cords and stuff are in the way. All right. Let's not do 2, 3, or 4 yet. Let's go to number 5. I'll come back to those though. Those are really, really easy, okay? So number 5, the only thing we need from that equation is it says parallel. So we're going to do the same slope. And you have an X coordinate and a Y coordinate. Okay, so remember, parallel means same slope. We're going to fill in y equals mx plus b. And again, you did a little bit of this yesterday. So if you had a little bit of trouble, we're going over it again today. No big deal. Your y coordinate is -5. Your m is the slope from the equation they gave you, so -1/2. Your x is your x coordinate 4. And then we leave the plus b. Solve for b, and then write your new equation. We get -5 equals, half of 4 is 2, -half of 4 is -2. To get rid of a -2, I add 2. And I get -3 equals b. The last step is to write your equation. Y equals same slope x, and then whatever you get for b, which was -3. There's your new equation. All right, number 6. What's your slope on number 6?
-2/3.
Mm-hmm. So that's my, gosh, y'all, I'm sorry. That's my same slope. This is my XY coordinate that I'm going to plug into y equals mx plus b. Somebody else, tell me what your y coordinate is. Easy question, so answer quick.
-2.
-2. What was the slope that we picked?
Negative 2/3.
Perfect. Somebody else, what's our x coordinate?
-3.
-3, perfect. And then we just put plus b. Guys, you can do this multiplication in your calculator. So parenthesis, -2 divide 3, close your parenthesis, open another one, and hit enter. You get 2. You don't have, you can use your calculators, I don't mind. So we get -2 equals 2 plus b. How do we solve for b?
Subtract 2.
Subtract 2. We've been doing that since day 1, so you guys should be good with that. And I get -4, watch those signs. -4 equals b. Somebody tell me what my full new equation is. Y equals,
Negative 2/3.
perfect both of you. And then
Subtract 4.
subtract 4. That's it. I'm going to do one more like this, and I'll get to the ones that are x equals 0. These will take like 2 seconds. Okay. So I'm going to go down to number 7 right here. Our slope is going to be -2 because it's the same. This is our x and this is our y. And we're going to plug into y equals mx plus b. Quickly, what is your y?
3.
What's our m, or our same slope?
-2.
Perfect. What's our x?
0.
And then we have plus b. -2 times 0 is 0. That 0 does not matter. We can just mark it out. And we get 3 equals b. Our new equation. Y equals same slope, -2x. So we just bring that right down. And then write our b, a +3. And again, it's plus 3 because it's a +3. All right. So then number 8 is really, really simple. I'm going to show you the hard way first, and then I'll show you the cheater way. Okay, so hard way first and then the cheater way. It says parallel to x equals 0. That means it's going to be the same. Actually, I'm just going to show you the cheater way. Let's just keep it that way. Same. So use the same x coordinate. So that means when I write my equation, I'm going to do x equals. Use your coordinates. Which one is your x?
-5.
-5. That's it. That's your equation. So if it's parallel, use the same, which is your x, and we pick the x coordinate. I'm going to go back up to the top because you have 2, 3, and 4 that look just like this, okay? So I'm going to go to all 3 of them. 2 says parallel, which means the same. So we're going to use x. And then what is our x coordinate?
1.
That's your equation. Number 4 says parallel to x equals 0. So we're going to use the same, which means x. And then what does x equal? This one you really can't mess up.
-4.
-4. That's your equation. So what would your equation be on number 3? The full equation.
X equals -2.
Perfect. That's all you got to do. That's it. All right, so we're going to move on, and I'm going to start parallel now. If I can switch my paper, I'm sorry, I'm fumbling with my paper. All right, parallel, perpendicular starts on number 16. Okay, give me just a second. What are perpendicular lines?
lines that go through each other.
Okay, and specifically, how do they go through each other? Does anybody, do they make like an X?
Yeah, right? Isn't that the one?
Do they make, hold on. Do they make like an X like this, or do they make like a T like this?
T.
Yes. So they make 90-degree angles. So what happens is, if you look at this as the X coordinate and the Y coordinate, or the X axis and the Y axis, they are opposites of each other. So perpendicular, I'm gonna say the big terms and then I'm gonna tell you what it is. Means opposite reciprocal slope, opposite reciprocal. But I'm gonna tell you something different. That means flip it over and change the sign. Flip and change. So I'm gonna start with one that has a fraction and then we'll move to a different one. So right now on number 16, your slope is 1/5. It says perpendicular. So we're gonna flip it over. So what's it look like when I flip it over?
5/1.
And then we're gonna change the sign. So this is positive, we're gonna make it negative. What is that actually? What number? When I reduce it? Guys, what is this?
-5.
-5, thank you. Good job. All right, so then we're gonna go back to what we know. Y equals mx plus b. This is our x, this is our y. This is our m now. So the only difference in parallel and perpendicular, parallel you use the slope. So you would use 1/5 if it was parallel. If it's perpendicular, flip and change. Every other step is exactly the same. Your y coordinate is 0. The slope you made was -5. Your x coordinate is -1, and then plus b. -5 times -1 is +5. And then to solve, we subtract 5. So we've been doing this the whole time today. And we get b equals -5. When you write your equation, make sure you use your new m. Y equals, my new m was -5x. I finished with a -5. That's it. So there's no difference in the work, just this added step with perpendicular. So I'm going to keep this one up here as we do number 18. So we're going to take this 5/4 because it's perpendicular. And what are we going to change it to? Flip and change.
-4/5.
That will be our m. Here's your x, here's your y. So again, there is nothing different to doing this except for flipping that slope. Your y coordinate is 1. Your new slope is -4/5. Your x is 5, and then we have a plus b. If you need to use your calculator, glare, parenthesis, -4/5 and 5. It gives you -4. I do not mind you using your calculator. Might as well while you're at home. -4, to get rid of it, I add 4. And I get 5 equals b. My new equation is y equals my new slope, so -5/4 x, and then I got a +5 for b. That's it. All right, if you have questions, make sure you stop me and ask. Not a big deal. If we're looking at 20 and it tells me to do perpendicular, but I don't have a fraction right here, what do? How can I make this a fraction?
Put a 1 under it or
Yes.
above it.
Yeah, under it, always under it. So whole numbers have the 1 underneath it, but what happens when we flip it? We're gonna flip and change, so we'll get -1/2 as our new m. So always make sure that 1 is underneath it and then flip it to the top. This is our x, this is our y. Our y is -5. Our new m is -1/2. Our x is 2. And then we have a plus b. Half of 2 is 1. Negative times a positive makes a -1. Again, if you have to use your calculator, use your calculator. How do I finish solving?
Subtract 1. I mean, sorry, add 1.
It's okay. Which gives me -4 equals b. So what is my new perpendicular equation? Y equals
-1/2 plus,
what do we got to have after the 1/2? Hold on.
x.
X, and then
Plus
what you get? What do we get?
Oh my gosh, -4.
Hey, y'all are doing great.
I'm looking at the wrong things.
It's okay. All right, so then I want to look. Trevor, what do you want me to go over again? Y'all, when you chat me, I'm not seeing it. So. All right, well, I'm going to keep going. Trevor, if you decide you need something else, we're going to stop at the end and you can check it out, okay? All right, check out number 19. What is the slope on this one?
X.
Remember, your slope is always a number. So what's that number always in front of x when there's not one? 1. And to make it a fraction, put it over 1. Perfect. We're going to flip it, which still makes it 1/1, but then we're going to change it to negative. So what is your actual new slope?
-1.
-1. Here's your x, here's your y. Your y is -2. Your m is -1. Your x is -1. And then we have a plus b. Negative times a negative makes a positive. 1 times 1 is 1. And then to solve, we subtract 1 and we get -3 equals b. Our new equation, make sure you use the new slope, and you can leave it as -1x. You don't have to simplify it or make it anything different. -3. Mathematically correct, if you saw a multiple choice, it would just have -x minus 3. I will accept both. So if you're having to type it in, I'll take both of them. Okay. All right, I'm gonna move to the next page because there's a couple more that I want to go over. Let's see. I don't like any of these. No, they don't have them. I'm going to change it a little bit. So I'm going to take 21 and I'm going to change it. What if it says perpendicular to x equals 0? We don't need this. Remember, perpendicular means flip and change. So we don't use our x coordinate like we do with parallel. Parallel, we use x. Perpendicular, we're going to use y. And what is your y coordinate?
4.
That would be all you would do for perpendicular. What if they give you that it's perpendicular, take off this x, to y equals 6/7? If they give you y, you change it to x, and you give the x coordinate. Okay. So same thing. If they just give you this, y equals -3, you're going to change it to x. And what is your x coordinate?
3.
-2. Oh my gosh.
You were on this one. It's okay. It's okay. I know where you're at. But you would have been right had I would have done this one. You're perfect. Great job. All right, so that's basically it, guys. So that's where you're looking at it. I can do some more problems if you want to. If you want to go ahead and go and work on that quiz. I'm going to stop sharing and stop recording.